Welcome to the channel, guys. Today I'm doing a fragrance review for Vetiver Parfum Cologne by Roja Dove, so stay tuned for that. If you like the content, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. Vetiver is one of the 4 new Parfum Cologne fragrances released by Roja Dove, and this is one that really piqued my interest because it seemed to me like it was a type of classy, timeless fragrance, and so I definitely wanted to try this one out. I also really enjoyed the note of vetiver, and so this one certainly did pique my interest. Now this one does have a lot of notes, so I'm not going to list them all, but you can look and find them right here. One of the things that I find stands out the most of this fragrance in the opening is the lemon. There's a huge amount of lemon. Right on the initial burst, I definitely do get some of the bergamot as well, but that's very quickly overtaken by the lemon. And so the lemon is definitely the main player of the citrus accord. This is also backed by a vetiver, and I remember the first time I smelled this one, I actually got the impression that it had a similar vetiver to Elysium, and after wearing it more, I find that I think it's actually a little bit different. I actually get, especially if you smell it off the nozzle or right on the opening especially, the vetiver has a slight amount of smokiness to it. Now that's not something that stays consistent throughout the entire fragrance, but I do find in the opening I get a somewhat smoky vetiver accompanied by the strong dose of lemon. The lemon is nicely done, so I find a lot of times with lemon, and other people I've had smell some fragrances certainly note this, some lemon heavy fragrances do smell like Pledge or like cleaning products. This one doesn't come off that way, so the lemon is actually quite nice. And there is definitely a nice dry woodiness. As this one dries down, the lemon does tone down a little bit. I do find that it's still quite prominent for a very long time, although within about an hour or so I find the vetiver definitely becomes the star player of this fragrance. The vetiver is a little bit earthy but not dirty or soily in any way. It does come off a little bit clean but not a soapy vetiver, and it definitely does come off slightly fresh, and I think that's where I got the comparison with Elysium, because I find that Elysium has a very fresh vetiver in it, and it's one of the stronger notes to my nose. And so it does have a similarity in that respect, but this of course smells quite drastically different from Elysium. So I think that was actually my biggest concern, that because vetiver for me is quite prominent in Elysium, that this would smell a little bit too much like Elysium, but it certainly doesn't. It smells quite different, in fact. So it is really nice, and it also comes off to be very classy. I also find it interesting because I saw a video that was recently released by Roja, and it was talking about his new Parfum Cologne line, and he was saying that he designs a fragrance with a certain person in mind. And the person that he designed for vetiver was somebody who has nothing to prove to anybody. And it's funny because frequently when I've put this one on, that's exactly the mood I've been in. I've been in like, you know what? I just don't really care about what other people are going to think. I'm just going to put this on because this is what I want to wear. I'm not trying to, press anyone or anything. And this has been the fragrance that I've reached for the last couple of times. I've certainly had that mood. So I think it's done really well in that respect. It's a very classy fragrance. I can see wearing this casually, but it can definitely be dressed up very easily. Good office scent. This is something I've considered picking up a bottle of and wearing to the office because it has a very professional tone to it. It's very classy. I could definitely see wearing this with a suit as well. Some people have compared it to like Grey Vetiver and Vetiver by Guerlain. I don't think it's quite exactly the same. It definitely stands out from those two. And I happen to have Vetiver Extreme, and I don't think that this smells like that one. So it does smell definitely distinct. So the longevity on this one is pretty good. I consistently get over close to the 6-hour mark. This is not a very loud fragrance, so it's not a huge beast mode projector, but it certainly has a little bit of sillage to it, and it certainly does last for quite some time. So I get around the 8-hour mark with this one, which is pretty good. It's a good longevity, and considering that this one comes in the 100 ml bottle, To me, I feel like it's good value for what it is. It's a nice, classy fragrance. That's also quite versatile. You can wear this one almost anytime you want. So I think that I like this one, and I will probably pick this one up at some point. Overall, I feel like this is one that you will reach for when you want to wear something just for you that you don't really care. And so I think if you like Vetiver, this is a fragrance you should check out because it is definitely the star player of this fragrance. Very prominent and nice Vetiver, smooth, opens a little bit smoky, but only a touch, and I actually didn't recognize that smokiness at first. And then it does certainly go into a clean but not soapy vetiver that comes off very nice and classy. So ultimately, I do enjoy this one. I think it's an easy wear and certainly something that I would reach for a formal situation or office type of situation, or just when I feel like throwing it on. So anyways, guys, that's it for this one. What's your favorite vetiver fragrance? Leave a comment down below. And as always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.